Are you using debt to supersize and grow your business? Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here, and today we're going to talk about debt, in particular, good debt versus bad debt, how to use debt, are you using debt, and what to do about the debt that you do use and how you use it. Now, debt is a tool just like anything else we use in our business. I have used debt to the benefit of my future and the future of my businesses for decades now. And a lot of people, and me included when I was younger, thought, oh, we should never have any debt. But there's debt that enhances our future and contributes to it, and there's debt that is just things, and the difference is mostly our intent and how we handle it and how we manage it, and the aspects of the type of the debt that we get involved with. Good debt, to me, is anything that makes our future better. So student loans, some people consider those bad debt. They're only bad debt if you don't think you have to pay them back. They're good debt if they allow you to increase your earning potential. And I think just about any kid that gets a college degree will make more if they get a degree in something of value to the world than the amount of credit card debt that they spend. You know, people say, well, what about doctors? What about lawyers? Well, doctors, depending on what they specialize in, will maybe come out of school with 6 figures of credit card debt, but they'll also start at, an eye doctor friend of mine just graduated from college and had, I think, I don't know, a couple $100,000 in credit card debt, but she's starting out at $325,000 a year. That's her starting salary. So if she's smart, and we chatted about this, she will emphasize paying off a lot of that debt. Although it's not super high interest, she wants to get that out from under her belt so that she can be investing more in things that will build her future, not just paying off debt. So good debt is anything that enhances our future, our ability to earn in the future. I shared the story of Angela, who borrowed $45,000 to get her master's degree in data science that allowed her to make $30,000 more a year, and she paid that off in a few years and then used the extra money by living frugally and making choices to pay that off and make that a priority so that she could invest in the future, still living a little more frugally than some people would choose, to enhance her future and retire early because she has the resources to do that. So good debt versus bad debt. Good debt is usually used to get income generating assets or to purchase assets. Think of a home mortgage. Our home mortgage, we assume, is going to increase in value over time, or not our mortgage, but the value of our property will. And so to me, although it's not an investment, it's a better use of debt than things like credit card debt or payday loans or anything that has super high interest, a short repayment plan, and that you can get trapped in. Usually it's spent on not necessities, luxury items, or things we don't really need, but we just want them right now. So that's why there's so much credit card debt in the world, is because people want instant gratification, so they'll get what they want right now, not realizing the long-term impact of that high interest. I don't joke about it, but I talk about it a lot. A lot of times you're paying interest long after the thing that you had to have has worn out. Think of financing the new technology and new cell phones. You know, they're super expensive when they first come out, and then the electronics price drops. But if you've got to be an early adopter and got to have that thing, you're paying a higher interest rate. And sometimes the next new phone or the next new gadget is out and you want to buy that, but you're still paying off the first one because you bought it on a high interest rate debt enhancing thing. And now you'll notice the cell phone companies are all financing the process for you, and they make you can't even, I don't even know that you can pay cash up front for your cell phones anymore. I used to always, in my businesses, we'd buy the phones up front, but now everything is you have to pay for it monthly. And I remember getting really miffed at I think it was T-Mobile, which is one of the reasons I quit them. We paid for the phone up front, and then we still had to pay $40-some per month per phone as an extra fee because they wanted to get their financing even though they weren't financing anything. It was asinine, and I kind of hope somebody does a class action suit against them and gets that, if they haven't already gotten that eliminated. I think they eliminated it by just saying, hey, you can't buy your phone up front anymore, which is also kind of usury, in my humble opinion. So let's give another example of good debt. Most of the business owners I know, and I know thousands, don't have enough money up front in savings to start, build, supersize, and grow their business. So they have to use some forms of debt in order to do that. Peter. Peter is one of those. Marcus got himself in some bad credit card debt. A story for another day. Peter used debt and savings to build a business. He built a boutique marketing firm. He borrowed $100,000 and he used savings for the rest of his startup capital. And within a year, he was making $300,000 a year. So he paid off that $100,000 loan early and used good debt to allow him to go from being an employee to an entrepreneur. And that allowed him to change his life, right? And create the life that he wanted. And now he enhances the marketing boutique with online speaking gigs and some online courses that he's created. So how do we go about thinking about our debt and managing our debt? I'm going to share a 5-step process that I use and I teach people to use because it's that important. Number one, know what your debt profile is. Know what your outstanding balance is, your interest rate, your monthly payment, and the due date for that. Now, you might hire somebody that does this for you, but you sure should still look at it, especially for your personal life, but for your business as well, to make sure that it's being managed properly, handled, and paid on time. We, in our businesses, often use credit cards for travel to gain points for traveling and things, but we also pay them off every single month. We have it automated that prior to the due date, it's automatically paid electronically. So that it's never late, so that we don't have those high interest fees. Because the credit cards that we use, there's no interest if you pay it off every single month. Now, credit card companies hate that, right? They do. They hate that, but there's a small percentage of people that do that, and I'm always going to be that person because I want to buy the thing I buy, but I don't want to buy the thing I buy for way more than I think it's worth, right? When I buy it, it's worth what I think I'm paying for it. And that's why I say yes to that. But I don't want to be paying interest on that, which is making it more expensive every single month that it's not paid off. So I'm going to make sure that those always get paid off. I highly recommend you do the same. Number two, step two, prioritize high interest debt first. It's why we pay the credit cards off every single month. We use them for the benefits and for cash flow, but we make sure that they get paid off on time every single month. You can use a couple different methods if you do have debt that you think is a little bit higher than you want to be. You can use the debt avalanche method, or you can use the debt snowball method. If you need more information about that, you can Google it or you can ask. Number three, consolidate when it makes sense. If you find that you've had a problem or a challenge with your business, and we often do, business is up and down all the time, and you've gotten yourself in a little bit over your head, think about consolidating all of your debts in a lower interest payment. It takes longer to pay them off. You're still paying a lot of money in interest, but you're paying less than you would if you just kept trying to pay them off a little bit at a time. Frankly, credit cards are structured nowadays, payday loans and everything else. Payday loans to me are, I've never had one, but I know people that have. They are like, I call them usury. The interest rates are so high, and the ability to pay them back is so hard for the vast majority of people that resort to getting them. It's mind-boggling. Kind of surprised it's even an actual allowed business, but I guess banks do the same thing in a certain way. So do credit card companies. Okay. 4, build a safety net. Before you pay off and start aggressively paying off any debts you might have like that, make sure you've got your 3 to 6 months for both your personal and your business worth of expenses in a safety fund, an emergency fund. We're going to talk about emergency funds a whole day on that. Health insurance, make sure you've got health, business, umbrella insurance, whatever you need for the crazy emergencies that might come up. I don't know, they're probably selling pandemic insurance nowadays. I don't know that for sure. Basic retirement contributions, make sure that you've got and are setting aside, saving, paying yourself first, and the people in your organization first, etc. And then 5, avoid future bad debt. And we avoid bad debt by knowing what our intent is for getting the thing that we're getting. You know, if your company's just getting started, don't go buy a company yacht, right? it seems like common sense, but common sense isn't that common anymore. So we have to think and plan and have strategies and systems in place to manage things for us and for the people that work with us, because sometimes human beings don't make the best decisions when it's not their money on the line. That's been my experience. All right, any questions? Hit me up. Love to know your experience with debt, good debt, bad debt. Share in the comments below so we can learn from one another, and I'll, of course, be with you tomorrow.